Killers. Today is a very special show. Killers. Charles Bronson, my favorite. Van Damme. Steven Seagal. The band, The Killers. Not too crazy about them. Absolute killers. And I have a great killer with me today. The one and only Minnie. I called you Millie. What the fuck just happened? The one and only Minnie. I'll tell you. Killer. I'm a killer too. I just killed introducing you. How are you?
What you did? I'm good. I'm good. I just had this past Sunday. I had a show at the American Comedy Company, and I'm not no exaggeration. It's 100% truth. I had the best show of my entire life,
and that is why I said you were a killer.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely demolished people on stage. It was I'll turn I'll just have some video in the background. We'll put the sound on. You had the room screaming, howling. I've never seen anything like it. I can't believe it. Like this is my kid. Absolutely a professional stand-up comedian. Absolutely destroyed, ruled the club. You told me that last night at the mics you were doing last night, someone said they didn't want to go up after you.
Yeah, which was like it was one of the best things I've ever heard. Like they literally were like, I didn't go up after Minnie. Like, how am I supposed to follow up with that? And I was like, oh.
Like when Peter didn't want to use the bathroom after me.
Yeah, exactly.
No one wants to go in after Dad.
Aye.
No, but tell me, what happened last night?
Oh, I was usually I'm one of the first 10 up at a club that I always perform at, and I'm really good friends with this person. But you know, I always have material that works. I'm starting to try and like integrate new material. But you know, if I can tell if it's a tough crowd or something, I'll just do stuff that I always knows works. Right. So I did that. And
tough crowd. I tell you, tough crowd.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm like, man, what is people's problem? All this stuff always kills. But yeah, he was just like, I was like, how am I supposed to follow up after that? I can't go up after Minnie. And I was like, oh, that's like one of the coolest things that's ever been said about me. So awesome.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So congratulations. Yeah. You're absolutely killing it right now. And in honor of that, I killed introducing you. So yeah, staying very on brand. Very on brand. So yeah. Oh, here we go. So let's welcome up in the early people. We got John is here. Minnie El Taib is in the chat. Peyton Holden, Love God Bible Truth is here. J Doe is here. Power Up J-Bot, who did a great drawing. I think I posted to my Instagram fan art of what's his name? American Way. Who else is here?
Enrique Cabrera.
Enrique Cabrera is here, the one and only. Andrew Wilson. And yeah, we got people streaming in. So very good, very good. So where were we before I started introducing people again? Sorry.
We were just talking about stand-up. I have another show coming up Sunday, March 13th at the Madhouse in San Diego, California. I get a 5-minute spot. So if any of you guys are in San Diego, let me know. Just message me on Instagram.
Right. And what day is that? March 13th?
Yeah, Sunday, March 13th.
Sunday. And, Sunday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
That was the rip-off, less successful version of Friday the 13th.
You know, that's one of the few scary movies that I actually like. I'm a huge chicken. The chat does. I don't know if the chat knows. Biggest chicken alive. Even talking about scary things, I won't be able to sleep for like a day or two. So Friday the 13th, that was a big deal for me to watch that like at 16 with my friends. Not that scary of a movie. I actually really like that movie.
I remember when you and your brother were in middle school, I dropped you off at like a Halloween party over by Morena Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
And I think you said they watched Nightmare on Elm Street at that house during the Halloween party, and you guys were scared of it or something. So
yeah, me and my brother were scared of it.
You know, I've never seen those movies because I wasn't allowed to watch that growing up, that sort of thing, from your grandma. And then as an adult, I have no interest. You know, I never really developed any sort of flavor or taste or anything like for horror. It just never interested me because it was forbidden.
I really like cult classics like Friday the 13th. I like Scream a lot, but I haven't seen the new one or anything.
Yeah.
Scream, Friday the 13th.
When you were a baby, we got HBO for free one weekend, and Scream came on, and I watched it, and I think it was the first big horror movie I ever watched. And I was like 21 years old, 21. And it wasn't scary to me. Although there was a horror movie I watched. It was Clive Barker's Nightbreed. And I watched that over and over with my buddies when I was in like middle school and high school, even though it's a horror movie. I'm contradicting myself now. And because it isn't that scary. is just really weird and mysterious. It's almost like a fantasy movie too, and a little bit horror. But let's see. Love God Bible Truth is saying scary would be John Carpenter's The Thing or Hellraiser. I've seen clips of Hellraiser. It looks terrible. But
I've
if you
seen
never
clips of The Thing.
The Thing, and we're talking about not the thing that came out like 3 years ago, or the one from the 50s, but the one from 1980 or whatever, John Carpenter's Thing. That is a masterpiece. That movie is what everyone says. I've never seen it. So
Jay Do says, I watch YouTube videos where people narrate allegedly true scary stories. I do that too. I'll go on Reddit and it'll go, what are the
creepy pastas.
No, not that. Not where they do. It's the Let's Not Meet, that subreddit where people tell really scary interactions that have happened to them or people they know.
Right.
And I always think there's like a 50-50 chance they're not true, but some of them are like on small accounts and they don't get a lot of like karma. So I think like, well, this could be true because just like this is so scary. Like there was one, what was it? So this is one of the ones where I'm like, I don't know, this is true, but it would be cool if it was. This person's parents were like at a hiking trail at night. I think they were just being teenagers making out. I'm not sure, but they could like, you know, and you can like feel something's off, like you trust your gut instinct, like that stuff's real. They felt like something was off and they felt like someone was there by the trail with them. So they left. And I guess in that time period in that area, it was when like Ted Bundy was in his prime. So they think he might have been there just watching them. And I'm like, that's scary.
Yeah, we really do have senses that we're not really in tune with all the time because all the noise and the chatter and the anxiety of life. As you know, me and your mom take walks all the time, multiple times a day for exercise around the neighborhood and stuff. And like 2-3 years ago, we were walking, just a few blocks from here, but it was dark. It was in the fall or the winter where it gets dark really early. So it was pitch black out. Nobody was out and it was eerily still. And I remember we were walking down the street by the school. We won't say where.
Yeah.
And I felt creeped out, like someone's here, someone's watching, someone's following, something. You felt like you were there was a predator.
You could feel it in the back, like the hairs in the back.
You could feel it. You could feel it just all over you. It's like it's crawling. And I turned to your mom and I go, do you feel that? And she's like, yes.
Ooh.
Let's get the hell out of here. We just turned around and booked it home. But you're picking up on something. Who knows what it is? Who knows the science behind it? But absolutely, I just felt it so strongly. And then, oh my gosh, I didn't tell you this story. So I drove to Disneyland with your mom, or Disney World in Florida, here from California. We got like 30 miles from the house out to Alpine, and we pulled over to get some food, maybe to McDonald's or something, because we'd been so busy packing for the trip, we didn't eat. I pull into this shopping center, and this like white trash guy with like a mullet and a mustache, as we're in the McDonald's drive-thru, comes up to the window of the car, like a foot and a half away from the window, like right up to it. And he looks shady as hell. And he's just like, hey man, can I have a ride to something? And I'm just like, what? Because he caught me off guard. And he just like looked at me. Like, you see how I'm looking at you? He's just like, hey, can I have a ride to whatever? But look at my eyes, like I'm looking at the top of my eyebrows.
You're looking at something else.
He wasn't thinking what he was saying is what was clear to me. And he was just like, I said, no, man, I'm doing something else. And your mom said he had a big wad of cash that you could see hanging out of his pocket. But he was just like, hey, I need a ride to whatever. But like his eyes were like, and I just like got out of the drive-thru line and took off. I'm like, you could feel it coming off the guy. I don't know, a carjacking or what that was. You could just feel it coming out of him though, like whatever. It was very bizarre the way he was acting. So yes, when you get that feeling, trust it. There's a reason that's built into you.
I think I have two feelings like that. One was actually like 2 weeks ago and I called you, and then one was like during the pandemic, like right when it started. About 2 weeks ago. We live in a really good neighborhood. However, there is like one house like 2 blocks away. And I'm not bashing people for this, but there are a lot of shady people at the sober house. It's a sober house. And anytime there's cops or like the ambulance, they always go to that house. Like I know that people have been called because they've OD'd or whatever. And so I always leave to do comedy at night, different times of the night. I don't ever have a set schedule. Comedy is very like go with the flow. And this is like a dark suburban street. And I'm getting in my car and I heard a noise, but I thought it was just lots of people walk their dog. I thought someone was just walking their dog talking. But I see this guy and he's like 50 yards away from me. And I'm like, there's no way he's talking to me. Like it's a Tuesday and it's 8 p.m. What would we have to talk about? So like he like said something and I get in the car, and as I'm getting in the car and I lock it, I see him walk super fast diagonally because he was diagonal from me to go next to my car, and I just started the car and drove away. As I'm driving away, he follows my car into the street and is going like this, and I'm just like,
on foot, he's chasing you.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no.
Now maybe you left a drink on the roof. Maybe no.
Oh. It would, but like, and then I just saw him like, and I was just like, ugh. And then of course I go like 2 streets down by the light by our house, and then there's like 3 cops, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's not connected. But the last one, okay, this is the last scary story, but this one's actually really scary. I got yelled at by my mom for it. So, we live in San Diego, which has like the world's most beautiful beaches. I don't care what anyone says. And I
don't care what anyone says. I'll never back down from
that. I won't. People are like, oh, Mexico. No, La Jolla, the PB is just the most, in Coronado. It's all beautiful. So I wanted to have a sandwich at La Jolla during the pandemic. I think it was like May of 2020. So like things were kind of like, remember how it was like open and close. But
right.
It was like it's like one of my favorite sandwich shops. It's called Board and Brew. There's a couple all around San Diego County. And I found like this secret little hiking trail in La Jolla. It wasn't. You just go down one hill and then you're at the ocean. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a private beach. And I had been there once before. So I was like, okay, I'm going to eat on the beach while the sun is setting. So it's very steep and you can't see because there's all these bushes, like unless you're directly on the trail. So I'm standing at the top of the trail, and there's this homeless guy, but he looks crazy, but I didn't see him at first because it's all this green shrubbery and brown because of the dirt. And he was wearing like a green shirt, like that almost blended in with it, like a camo.
Camo.
Yeah, well, really, that's what it is.
Yeah, the paint on and some leaves.
Yeah. No, but I was about to walk down, and he had like these bulging eyes. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the Guinness World Records of people that would pop their eyes out. That's what it looked like. He clearly was crazy. And he looked at me. He was at the bottom of the trail, and I was at the top. And mind you, it wasn't very busy. It was like a Wednesday or a Tuesday, like at 4 or 5. Like there were not a lot of people at the beach right now. And he looks at me and he goes like this and like beckons me like a witch out of a movie. And he's like, come down here. He didn't say a word. And again, I'm a huge chicken, but I was trying to keep my cool. So I was like thinking out loud, and I was like, I'm not going down there. Like who says that? And so then, like I said, he's crazy. He goes, blah, blah, blah. He literally does that. And I was like freaking out. I run to my car, and of course a car drives by, so I can't immediately run because I would have gotten hit. I get in the car, and then he's at the top of the trail where I was, so he ran up there. I'm like freaking out looking at him, and I'm trying to start the car, and it's like a crappy, scary movie. I'm like, oh my gosh, start. I didn't bring my shoes to the trail. My Birkenstock was underneath the brake, so I couldn't start the car, and I was like, you stupid car! And I like kicked the Birkenstock, start the car, and drive off. But like, oh, it was so scary. Just him beckoning me and going, blah, 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 and then the car not starting. It literally was like something out of Scream, like the worst case scenario.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got yelled at by my mom for doing that. So.
Oh, that's funny. Hatch 450 SX for $2. Thank you very much. Very generous. Hey Gabe, get paid. You're telling me to get paid. Well, please pay me. Get paid. Gonna back T-Jaw tomorrow. Hail. Thank you very much. In all seriousness, we're just touched. We're closing in on 32,000. I'm amazed. Ain't bad for 9-10 days worth of work. Ain't bad at all. You guys are phenomenal, and we can't wait to bring this book, Dave, Gary, and I. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for the donation. Let me check back on the chat. More people came in, and we'll get back to the wrap up the hobo story in a second here. Leg Kick is here. Barry On is here. Let's see. Oh, he lives in Chicago. Good thing the sandwich shop wasn't a Subway. All kinds of weird things happen outside those, at least in Chicago. Yikers. I was in Chicago Remember you told me have fun in Chicho? You wrote
I
me
didn't
that
know how to
note?
spell Chicago. I wrote
Right.
Chicho. It's a
It was,
complicated word.
yeah, it was 2010. You were a kid. I went to the C2E2 Combo Convention 2010 by myself, or not by myself, with my friend Nick Runge. Look him up on Instagram. Amazing artist. And Runge, Nick Runge, amazing painter. And we were there at the Comic Con, and we rode the train from like a city way outside to the west, like 10 miles away, into the Comic Con every day. We stayed at his uncle's place for free. And when we stopped, just talking about the craziness of Chicago, we stopped at this neighborhood called Cicero, I guess, is a really dangerous place in
Oh,
Chicago.
I've heard of
And
that.
when
Yeah.
it was the middle of the day, like on the way to the Comic Con, like 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning. And Nick told me, you can't even get out this time of day. He said, we don't get off on Cicero even at 10 in the morning. And I asked someone else if that was true who was from Chicago, and they were like, yeah, you don't go there. You don't go there. So, Juicy Smollett. He's the one that got beat up by the Nigerian bodybuilders for Trump. That's right.
He liked Subway.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hatch 450SX. That's not enough. We got to get you 6 figures. Well, yeah, we're going to get there for sure. I mean, we've got at least 60 days and then we go in demand. So we're already a third of the way there, basically. So, but thank you so much for the support. Absolutely. And any of you that haven't backed, please back it. The link is pinned at the top of the chat and it's in the description. And if you can't back it today, back it as soon as you can and let all your friends and family know. It's phenomenal what we're doing. But let me see, check on the chat a little bit more. Back. Oh, John went somewhere and came back. I didn't even know.
Welcome back, John.
Yeah, welcome back, buddy. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Like they said, welcome back, Cotter. Okay, so you had the scary hobo at the beach. Anything else spooky like that?
Anything else spooky? Well, when I lived in LA, I got so desensitized to like the craziness and like the extremeness,
Right.
but I always had a taser on me, and I'd never ever use it on anyone. But like, if somebody, no, I would talk about that. I'd be like, yeah, I'd tase somebody, but I definitely.
I got to interrupt you real quick. I remember when I bought it, I showed it to your mom. I said, come on, just let me try it on you. And I wasn't going to try it on her because I know it's going to hurt. But she was convinced I was. I'm like, come on, come on. And she would get all afraid and go, no. I'm like, it probably doesn't hurt.
Poor mother.
I love terrorizing her.
Yeah, I know. But when I lived in LA, someone because I didn't have parking at my apartment, so every night I had to find parking and walk to my place, which I don't even know how I did that, because if I had to do that now, I would just be like, Dad, I'm moving back home. But if like a homeless person or like I don't know, someone just stared at me too long, I would take out the taser and like instead of doing like warning shots, I would do like warning tases, and I would look at them and do it. Because just I'm not messing around. I'm not going to be the girl that gets mugged in LA trying to be a comedian. And but yeah, one time a hobo screamed at me and I was just I didn't do anything to him, but I was just like, stay back. And then
how do they react? Do they just have a look in their eyes like, never mind?
They look at me like, oh, she's not worth the effort. That's really what it is.
Oh, look at this. You want to read this? Do the honors for me, please.
Green Hatch Chili says, all back twice, not seeing Batman. They hate us. Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not too excited to see a third brand new Batman in the last 10, 15 years. I don't know. Do something else, maybe, whatever.
I'm excited to see Robert Pattinson. Let's see.
Yeah. You called him Green Hatch Chili. It's Hatch 450SX on my screen.
I know. I just like Green Hatch Chili. But,
okay. All right.
But yeah, let's see. Peyton Holden says, don't tase me, bro. SD0 says it's either haunted or very strong roaches. I don't know what you're talking about. J-Dog.
Oh, he said J-Dog said there were 2 haunted houses in this neighborhood, always getting sold over and over. When I was a little kid, and they just removed it in the last 5 years, but there was a barn next to my grandparents' Mexican restaurant. I don't know if you remember, directly across the street. But this barn was built in the 20s or the 30s. So by the time I was a little kid in the 80s, the wood was all dry and rotted, and it was leaning over, and the barn was literally being held up by a telephone pole. And we're talking a 30-foot tall building that was 60 feet long. This was a big wooden barn. And we would talk about as kids, we made up our own fake legend that a man murdered his entire family in that barn, and it was the haunted house. And we were all so afraid to go in there. And then one day, me and my older brother Abe and my two older cousins Tim and John, we went in there and like looked around, and it was just like an empty barn full of like broken stuff, broken machines and boxes. And then I remember there was like a ripped up Playboy magazine on the ground or something. And then my cousin went up the stairs and then came running down and said he saw a big scary face coming right at him. And then, oh my gosh, this like made me remember. Then I went to school and told my friends about it, like in first grade, I think it was. And I lied to them. And I said that there was a man upstairs watching the TV, just laughing like a crazy person in the dark.
wait, there was an old torn up playbook, Dad, in the haunted place where there boobies.
Yes.
Good pun. That's a good pun.
Yes. You saw the money sitting on the table and you picked it up. You didn't just leave it there. So that's right. Did you tell any like crazy lies to your friends when you were little, or hear any?
Oh, definitely. Well, what? Okay, I didn't know it was. Yes, was. Well, okay, so in my defense, I didn't know one was a lie because I was lied to. I told my friend that you were with Spider-Man beating up the Green Goblin.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad told me that we lived by a big, tall sugar factory. Like literally, it was like what? How tall was it?
It was like 200-foot tall smoke stack, like steam stack or whatever, at a giant sugar factory in Colorado.
And my dad had a bloody nose one night, and he said that he was beating up the Green Goblin with Superman at that sugar tower. Spider-Man, sorry. He was beating him up, and that's why. And he told me not to tell anyone. I told my friend. And then her mom told my dad, and I was like, no, I betrayed my dad. So
I saw a meme of that where someone's like biting a donut looking all nervous. It says, when you hear someone lying, but you can't tell them because you don't want them to know how you found out the truth.
Yes. I've seen stuff like that. Or like asking someone a question to see if they'll lie to you because you already know the truth. Like they'll say,
I don't like that. I don't like sneaking up on someone like that and asking them to see if they'll tell the truth. That feels very, I mean, even though they did something wrong, it feels very passive aggressive to do that, And as a guy, being passive aggressive always feels really wimpy and slimy to me.
It's weird.
Yeah. Like when someone is like making a phone call, talking to someone, and then they have another person listening in, to catch them in a lie. Like that's little guy stuff. So I don't know.
That's little guy stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. So the club is going great. The stand-up is going great. What now? What next? What do you think?
Well, I have an Instagram page for my podcast, and I was just thinking, I'm like, I need to stream my first podcast. I wanted it to be just me for the first one, but I actually want it to be one of my first friends that I made back in December. I want him to be my first guest, so I have to get permission to film at this location. But yeah, so a podcast will be coming shortly. Oh,
you're gonna just put it up on YouTube at first, and then
I'm gonna put it up on YouTube, and then I'm gonna put up the audio on SoundCloud. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Try to keep it like this. Like I love streaming for like an hour, but I really think we should cut it to like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah, the only thing about cutting it short that I realize is it takes people up to like 20 minutes to come in sometimes.
That's true. Yeah.
Sometimes they get the notification and they're driving home or they're wherever they are, and they finally like, oh, okay, now I can tune in, and it's been 15, 20 minutes. So I realized doing like a 25, 30-minute show, you're going to lose a lot of chance for people to watch live. Let me address this comment here real quick. Jado, again, very active today in the chat. Thank you. Was planning on seeing the Batman for my birthday this month, but I think I'll stay home, make some popcorn, and just watch the 66 Batman movie. First Burton film or Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah, man, I watched a little YouTube documentary on the phenomena that was the 1989 Batman movie. And for those of you that weren't around back then, or you were too, a baby or whatever, that was insane when that happened. I remember 1989. I must have been 11 years old, and I was at the theater, and they had pamphlets at the theater of all of this Bat merchandise, action figures, play sets, toys, t-shirts. There was a rhinestone jacket that was like $500 with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton on it as Joker and Batman, not just them. That'd be hilarious if it was just Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton on a jacket.
I would buy that.
But I remember as a kid, I wanted all that crap looking at it. And I wish I had the Batman rhinestone jacket. Hold on. Can you entertain them for a minute, Minnie, while I find this pamphlet?
Yes. All right, chat. What are you guys in the mood to do? Let's read up everything. Peter Orchard Studio says, "What's up, everyone? What is up, Peter? Thank you for coming to our stream." And let's see. Jonna says Minnie is getting big enough now she can just send in a warm-up act. You know what? I thank you. That means a lot. It's really rewarding seeing like all the work I did as a teenager doing stand-up and then getting back into it. Like I remember having a conversation with one of my aunts last year. She was like, "Are you ever gonna do it again?" I was like, "No, I'm good." And then I just had some real awesome emotional stuff happen and I wrote to feel better. And I'm grateful for the bad things that happened this past year because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have gone back up on stage. So yeah. I guess where I'm going with that is that if you guys have something bad, I think that if you like just gave yourself time to heal, you could make something really good out of it. So, and then J Dog says, Minnie, do you do stand up in San Diego? Yes, that's where we're from. We're from San Diego, California. I do stand up
The
at
619. Yeah.
Dago. No.
I hate when people call it Dago.
Me too. I don't like it's so ghetto. I
Yeah.
do it at I do lots of open mics, but I also just had a show at the American Comedy Company. So I go to the American Comedy Company. I go to the La Jolla Comedy Store. I go to the Madhouse. I've gone to the Grand in El Cajon about once. And there's a brand new one that's going to open up in Claremont, and it's called the Mic Drop. And I believe I'm going to be going to try and do stuff there. They already have shows lined up. So yeah.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
So Batmania takes over America. You got to understand, Prince wrote an album of Batman music. There's
That's
a song
cool.
called Bat Dance that was in heavy rotation and was climbing up the charts. You could get Batman freaking everything. It was everywhere. They put that yellow Batman badge symbol on every last thing you could think of. And I remember going to Man Theaters in Rancho Bernardo, California. That's a suburb of San Diego. And it is the Man's Chinese Theater. It's the same company. Man Theaters no longer exists. It's like the TCL Chinese Theater. And I think there are no more Man Theaters. But I was at Man Theaters in Rancho Bernardo. And we were so excited for weeks to see Batman. And one of the most precious things to me as a kid was opening the newspaper every morning. I'd read the comics, and then I would often look at the movie advertisements in the paper, big black and white ads for blockbusters. I never went to any of these movies. I wasn't allowed to watch most of them, but this one, my mom dropped me and my brother off like an hour and a half, 2 hours early. So we're standing out the front door of the movie theater, and we find out they have this. This is a pamphlet that I'm showing you here of every freaking Bat merchandise you can imagine. And that's actually Bob Kane right there, the guy that stole all the credit for inventing Batman from Bill Finger. Yeah. Oh, people in my business. I think a lot of the fans know about it now, but people in my business mad at this guy for taking all the credit. But yeah, you could buy this like silk bomber jacket. You could buy all this crap, action figures, prints. Look at this. It's like a wind chime or something, a mug. I don't know what the hell in it, a banner, toys. But what made me laugh as a kid is this shit right here. This is hilarious. This is the jacket I was talking about that had a rhinestone on it. And what would you think if I was taking you to school, like in middle school, and I was wearing this thing?
I feel like Dad hasn't let go of high school.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a Batman bicycle. There's a Batman everything. I got to find out how much this thing retailed for back then. Batman lapel. You could just get a pin, a T-shirt. The hottest thing under this summer sun. Batman jams. Oh, big surf shorts, many were called jams in the 80s. I don't know why. I got to find out how much this freaking jacket was, though. Oh, it doesn't say. So what do you think of all this stuff?
I think that they had a lot more fan enthusiasm back in the day, and I wish we had stuff like this.
Look at and the guy right there, Michael Keaton, who a lot of people say he's like the best Batman ever, or whatever. He's a great Batman, great actor. This rhinestone jacket, it says it right here, $499.95.
Jeez,
and that's $1989. I wonder what it is.
A lot
now.
of money.
Right.
Like I can't do the math right now, but I know that's like something that like your rich uncle who's a bachelor gets you for Christmas.
Right. And there's one of the two movies my father ever took me to in my life, Young Einstein. Yahoo Serious was an Australian comedian, and that was like a weird comedy adventure movie. and he took me to see like the DuckTales movie that came out like in 1992 or 3 or something like that. So yeah. Look at this lady in her bike short outfit. That's
I
crazy.
know.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this guy's lucky. He had all these toys. Let's see. What else are we saying here? This is a line from the movie when Batman like gets away with like the grappling hook or whatever. Jack Nicholson Joker goes, "Where does he get those wonderful toys?" That was like one of those catchphrases. Apparently, he got them at a catalog where you could call 1-800. You call 1-800-4-Batman, or you could call 1-800-Mix-a-Lot and kick them nasty thoughts.
Okay, maybe got back.
I love that. So, but yeah, we got to check out Bat Dance, but I think they will kick our channel off.
We shouldn't.
Jado, I found the Prince Batman CD at a thrift shop. Unfortunately, I found the case was empty when I got home. Lesson learned. Yeah, on that little documentary about Batman I watched this morning about this movie, the Prince CD was $25 in 1989, and that would equate out to like $56 now or something like that.
I can't imagine paying that much for music.
All right, so Minnie, we take a time machine back. We stay the ages we are right now, and I give you this catalog, and I tell you can have anything in it you want. What are you getting?
Honestly,
what are you getting, and why is it the rhinestone jacket?
I was gonna say I'd wear the jacket unironically. That's a great icebreaker, a good conversation starter.
Right.
How much for the girl on the back?
How much for the girl? Your women. Sell me your women. Oh, and thank you for doing the work for me, John. I was going to go Google like a currency translator. In 1989, $499 for this showstopper of a jacket. That would now be $1,131.39.
That's insane. I could totally see someone like spending like their stimulus on that or something.
Oh my gosh, they get their Trump bucks and they buy a rhinestone Batman jacket.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I got a dog with my money, so
right. That's where Jane came from. I know you're just looking through a keyhole back into the 80s whenever I show you this stuff. It truly was, in my opinion. Now, of course, it's nostalgia for me. I have rose-colored glasses. But it really was the greatest American decade for pop culture.
I believe we had that.
One foot in our traditional American values, but some nerds, very few people, had like the internet. It was very rare, but people already were on BBS boards and all that in the 80s with their monochromatic computers and all that. So we had modernity. We had, computer graphics, and all the stuff was starting to happen in the 80s. And but we still had traditional post-World War II, very successful American culture. What a great time. What an absolutely great time for pop culture. And that's what I want to bring back with my book and stuff. And, I'm proud of you, your comedy, you're fearless, you're not being politically correct. And we need all that culture back. You're doing it. I'm doing it. It's awesome to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I also think, you're talking about me being politically correct. A family friend said this, and it meant a lot to me. They said, she talks about political things, but she does a really good job of it. And I think, you could talk about anything. You just got to make it funny. And you can't preach to people too much. Nobody wants to be preached to. Everyone's tired of hearing about politics, COVID. Just make it funny and make it short and sweet. And that's all we want.
Make
with the funny. No. Also, I feel like you know how you're like, oh, I just got an email right now, blah, blah. I'm not going to say the place of where it is, but I get to audition for a comedy club. So I just got a message about that. That's really cool.
Just now on the air?
Yeah, right now.
Nice. Yeah, I like to share stuff like that with people when I get a email from like Eric July text me once while I was on the air. I think it was like 2 days ago, and just different fun stuff for them to see behind the scenes here a little bit. Yeah. So congratulations. You're going to try out at another club. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Well, it'll be on the 26th of March is when I'll audition. So,
very cool.
Very excited. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. John said, you go, Minnie. Yeah.
No, at your show this last weekend, tell them what happened. You know what I'm referring to, the lady in the front row.
Oh, so I said something really funny. So in my set, the way I usually start is I ask if there's any couples, and I'm like, raise your hand. And a couple people will. And this one guy was like, we're a couple. And I looked at them and I was like, you cheating? And, it always catches people off guard. but there was a lady right in the front, right in front of me. And she goes, "Oh, what the hell?" But she's like this total white lady. I was like, "Why are you talking like that? You're not black." And then she got embarrassed. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she grabbed her.
Oh, that's funny. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hell no."
Yeah. She was like, "Oh, hell no. What the hell?" And I was like, "What?" But yeah, no, it was fun.
I have to say this. I do feel sorry for white people in our modern politically correct culture. It's like they can't even joke about anything like that because people run out and call racist. And I think the only way out of it, I'm being very serious here, the only way out of it is white people got to make jokes like that and just tell those sensitive weirdos, screw you. I'm going to make these jokes whether you like them or not. They're jokes. You know, I do feel sorry for them because us as minority, Mexican, Libyan, whatever, Arab, we're allowed to say it. And I would tell the people out there, you don't have to ask anyone for permission. Be yourself, for goodness sake. You know?
No, I agree. Just say it. Don't apologize. I will never do an apology. Even if I do something wrong, I'll be like, that's between me and X, Y. But I think about that. Like, I as conceited as the thought as it may sound, I don't care because it's the truth. Being famous and oh, somebody's like, oh, Minnie did this to me in high school, or she was a really shitty friend. I don't give a shit. It was 10 years ago. We're all adults now. Like you need to go to therapy so you can get over it. The only reason you're saying something is because I'm famous and successful. Like call it what it is. You want clout. Like get out of here.
Right. So. You know what you need to do to like reinforce that attitude is to get yourself a rhinestone Batman jacket.
But I'm gonna rhinestone suck it at the bottom of it.
Yeah. Get yourself this bad boy right here. And then you go to like a graffiti like airbrush artist. And they can write right here below the faces, suck it right under there.
Suck it. Yeah. J Dog says, I'm taller than most people, so I never apologize.
There you go.
I'm taller than the average. Okay, so it always varies every time I Google it. The average man ranges anywhere from 5'8" to 5'10". I think it's 5'8" because I'm 5'9". Like I'm pretty tall for a woman. And there's always someone that's not even tall for me. Yeah, it's tall.
Show me your sources. You show me.
Yeah, no, I had a guy tell me that wasn't even tall, but I was literally taller than him. So I was like, what? Are you just abnormally short? But yeah, I get that being taller than most people, but don't ever apologize. Don't. And I'm not saying don't be sorry for what you did, but I'm talking about when people get canceled. Like, no, I refuse to bend the knee to cancel culture. That it's stupid. Like I
cancel culture. So take that. We cancel you. You can't cancel us.
Green Hatch Chili says Young Ripa says to tell them to go cool themselves. Yeah.
No, he's saying fuck themselves, not murderize themselves. That was my Uncle Dave. Rest in peace. World Series of Poker, 11th place, 2006. Uncle Dave Duran. I think that's where he placed. He did really good. He always one of his things was fuck them if they can't take a joke. So absolutely. Yeah, I was talking to my Aunt Karis on the phone this afternoon. And he was saying when his ex-wife would call him and bawl him out and yell at him, he would start singing to her on the phone. Literally, she's yelling at him. So the ex-wife is yelling at my uncle, and he's there with his new wife, and she's screaming at him, and he's like, I am woman, hear me roar. He would just start singing that into the phone. So you got to learn to take confrontation and all that with just a happy warrior.
That would drive a girl insane. If I was mad at a guy I was dating or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, you're a woman here," I'd be like, "Fuck you!" I would hang up the phone.
Absolutely. Or as they say in France, absolument.
Absolument.
Right.
It always sounds like they're at the end of a sneeze. At the end of a sneeze, like Café du Monde. That hurts my mouth.
What is the word for sneeze in French? It's a crazy word. I think
that's what it is.
I think it's like ronflique or ronflique I learned it in high school. I don't know. So, here's the only apology that John gives out. Sorry if you're expecting an apology.
Ooh, I'm going to say that.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. If you want to hit men right between the eyes, you always go to the ego. You always say they've never accomplished anything. They're pathetic. They're weak. That's where it hurts men because our ego is all based on what we achieve, So I would tell a guy, like, if he was being a cancel culture SJW, I'd be like, so this long line of men you come from, they fight, they die, they do all this stuff to get you here, and then you decide to be a pussy? That's what you decided you'd be the one to do that? Your fathers are ashamed of you.
I kind of have like a voice that I do with my friend whenever some guy is like being a weirdo. Because okay, not that I'm like a model. I think I've said this by any means, but like I'm like one of 8 female comics in San Diego. You get hit on, it's very uncomfortable. But
It's like someone trying to sell you Tupperware or something.
just like, oh, I don't need this. But yeah, just the way they approach you, and I'm just like, oh, hi. Hi, you're a female comic. Oh, you're so brave. You're so brave for being on stage. You know, I really care about feminism. And I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. So, like, I said that the other day. Like, I'm not a huge feminist. Like, if I were with some guy and he was like, hey, I want you to stay home. Please make me food. Go do your comedy at night. I'd be like, all right, let's get married. Let's freaking do it.
You know the best way for you to keep the weirdos away though?
The Batman jacket. No, that would attract them. I really like a jacket. That's my favorite Batman. I don't like Christopher. Christopher Nolan doesn't know what he's doing. Like, oh,
I'm gonna run that jacket into the ground before this episode is over, and I'm very close already.
Yeah, I know. But yeah.
So guys come up and say, "Oh, you're a woman doing comedy, stunning and brave," right?
Yeah. Yeah, I talked about it. Okay, so it wasn't.
You should act confused next time we got. I'm a what? Doing what? What do you
think I'm a woman? But yeah, no, I talked about this on Monday, but no, there's this one guy. He's whatever. I'm not gonna say anything about him, but just he was just like, oh, he's such a brave, kind, gentle soul, and just I could just tell. And I'm like, dude, please stop, please stop. I don't know if that was too loud, but please stop. But yeah, that was one of the worst things I've ever just. And I get it, hitting on girls, that shit is hard. I've hit on one per.
No, hold on, no. Beep, beep, beep. Back it up.
Pump the brakes.
You don't get it. You don't get it. Women do not get it. You are not salesmen. You are the buyers. We are the sellers. You have no idea the hell it is to see a woman. She becomes the object of your desire. And you're like, I got to ask her out. And then it's just you and the truth. And that's all that's left. And you go up there and you flame out. And it's bad. And you feel about, I mean, I do it closer, but I need a microscope. You feel about that big. And then you do it again for some reason. Then you do it a lot. And it's a numbers game, basically.
No, it is.
But no, I don't ever want to hear from a woman that they have any idea what it's like to ask people out. They don't know. They have no
what idea. I was going to say was, you guys have to deal with that all the time. I've done that once and they said no. And I was just like, kill me. Kill me now. I would never want to be a man. Hell no.
No, but you know, that's the glory of it. Because again, men, we base our whole self-image off achievement. And there's no point, like I could go get a toddler play school basketball hoop that's 2 feet tall and dunk a ball on it, right? Who cares? They only care if I can jump and touch the 10-foot one. You know, so the harder the challenges, the greater the victory. So no. You know, fortune favors the bold, nothing ventured gain, all that stuff. So we do have a generation where most men are terrified of women. And I think that's, first of all, confuses me. I'm not afraid of women in any way, shape, or form, but I see them and it's very sad to me. It's very pathetic. What a horribly frustrating way for them to live. And I think as women, you guys just must be just not dying, but just like, oh my gosh, will these guys court me? Will these guys ask me out? Will these guys take me on a date? And they're just terrified. It's pathetic. I actually kind of don't have sympathy for these guys. Why are you so chicken? It's crazy.
I feel like there's kind of a phenomenon of women who are like, okay, I am just going to be single because I don't want to deal with all the shit that's going on. Like I see a lot of girls like that.
Right. So. And they just start collecting cats, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And marching with little pink hats for some reason.
I saw a guy online with that hat and his daughter, and I just messaged him and I was like, you're a bitch ass. And then I blocked him.
See, you know, and I'm not even trying to be funny. I didn't think this to be funny. It was literally a reaction. When you told me there was a guy with the pink protesting hat and his little daughter, and now he's ruining her life, I immediately pictured myself with the German suplex. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I just pictured suplexing him when you said that. So I think that's what more people need if they're going to misbehave. I'm going to Google German suplex and hope nothing terrible pops up.
I'm just going to say, as a woman, that hat did jack shit. That's what that hat is just, I can't stand it. And I know oh, you're a pick me. Yeah, I don't like modern feminism. I really don't. I think that there's nothing I want to do that I can't. And I think just hating men, go see a therapist. But that's just me. So
Okay,
like,
I found the German suplex.
Mm.
Here's a cartoon drawing of it and then a real life picture of it. Is there nothing bad on here? Because these stupid image searches. No, there's nothing bad. Okay.
It'd be funny if they were just balls.
That's the German suplex.
That looks cool.
Yeah. So you take your little daughter, you put the pink hat on, this is what you deserve.
You deserve this.
But only in an agreed upon wrestling match. We never threaten illegal violence. If there were any violence, it would all be agreed upon and done in a professional gymnasium where both parties agreed to wrestle.
Both parties are.
You happy, YouTube?
Yeah. You happy? I'm not gonna say the word. Don't want to get canceled. Can't cancel someone that doesn't care. No, I don't want to get censored. That's before.
Right.
So.
Oh,
Green Hatch says that's a lazy one. Why don't you show us, Green Hatch? Show us your.
Yeah, show us what you got.
Yeah.
In an agreed upon athletic match. Again,
like
never an illegal threat of violence. We would always agree to wrestle.
We always. Yeah.
John says pink hats are a sign of lowering testosterone levels. The University of Iowa, I think, or Iowa State, the visiting locker room for college football, the coach painted all the walls and lockers pink because he had read somewhere that would like demoralize the other team or whatever. I don't know if there's any science to it, but I think it could be like a placebo. If they were told it works on them, then it would begin to work a little bit.
I would believe that. I like that.
He is truth here on the suplex, though. I got to give it to him because that guy looks like he's going to hit his own head on the ground, suplexing. So, yeah, he's got to bridge the back. Maybe Hatch 450 SX is an actual wrestler. Maybe we have a celeb from pro wrestling in the chat.
Oh, my gosh, you're celebrity.
But he's correct. We got to give him credit on that.
Yeah.
So, look at this. J-Dog says, girlfriend just brought home some albondiga soup. She's the best.
Look at you in a relationship. Good for you. No, I'm just joking.
J-Dog, do you know the Mexican wives' tale about albondigas? It's if more than one person rolls the meatballs, they'll crumble and fall apart in the soup. And I always laugh because I could do the math in my head where that wives' tale came from. Think about it.
In the kitchen. That's
right. It's like, get the hell out of the kitchen here. You're bothering me or whatever. So that made me laugh. So,
hi, mija. There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, Hatch did a lot of backyard wrestling. So there you go. He knows what he's talking about.
Hatch, I don't know where you. What? It's soup. Ew. Hatch, I don't know where you're from, but in San Diego, there's actually a comedy venue / wrestling ring called Wrestle House in OB. It has like a secret little entrance in the back in an alley. It's very underground, but it's one of the cool. It's like something out of a movie. I don't know where you're from, but if you're ever in San Diego, I would check that out. They have like live wrestling like every Saturday. It's really fun, and it's like the crazy WWE. Like there's like bad Ronald McDonald. It's really fun. So.
That's hilarious. He's from New Jersey.
Jersey. Oh my goodness. Do you know Snooki? Okay. Let's see. J-Dog says, my grandma used to make tortillas from scratch. She hated when people helped her.
Those are two separate things. She hated when people helped her with anything in life. It's funny, your great grandma used to make tortillas. Minnie's great grandma, who she's named after, my grandmother Minnie, ran a tortilla factory and Mexican restaurant for 50 years with my grandfather. And so there's a little similarity there. We got great grandmas making tortillas.
There's a place. Okay, I keep saying if anyone's in San Diego, but I saw at least one username with the word San Diego. I think it was SD0. There is a place in Barrio Logan called Las Cuatros Milpas, or just Milpas, Milpas. Best tortillas I've ever had. And if you go there, they're only open Monday through Saturday, like 8 to like 2. Those are the hours, which is like ideal.
Always a line out front.
Always a line. It's cash only. The food's super good, but it's the best homemade tortillas I've ever had. There's literally the entire staff was a bunch of abuelitas, and they're just making tortillas in the back all day. They have a machine. There's flour everywhere. You can like smell the lard. It is so like I could just eat that with butter. It's amazing.
J-Dog knows this place because he said he grew up in Southeast San Diego.
Oh my gosh,
earlier,
that is my favorite. Like So my family thinks it's like so. It's my favorite Mexican restaurant. It is my absolute favorite. I love the tacos. I
It
love the
was fine.
steak.
It was
Yeah.
fine. You got to
Even
understand, my grandparents owned and ran a Mexican restaurant for 50 years. So I'm an absolute snob on that stuff because I have the best from.
But you said their tamales are really similar.
The tamales were good. I don't think I've had a great tamale since my grandmother died, except your mom made tamales at Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like my grandma was alive again.
It's
I
like
don't
crack.
understand that.
They're
Remember
so
that
good.
first batch she made like the week of Christmas? Ridiculous tamales. Ridiculous.
So good. With some alpaca.
Use real pork fat. Don't be using vegetable oil. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Use manteca. So.
Oh, this is hilarious. J Dog is ratting out the ladies from Milpas, saying the old ladies working there love to gamble. They're regulars at the casinos.
I totally believe that. I believe that. So I could tell they've all been there for like 20 years and they're all friends. And there's one that always has like a full face of makeup and her makeup matches like her shirt. Just they're like cute little characters. And they're always like, hola, mija. And like they're just really kind. But yeah, they're just, oh, I wish I was friends with them. I worked at a clinic in San Diego, like a health clinic. I used to draw blood. I was a phlebotomist. And one of my coworkers' moms has worked there since before she was born. Like nobody leaves there that works there. So
Wow.
but yeah.
I'm looking something up online, so you're gonna have to run things for a minute here for me.
Let's see. I have to cough.
You there?
Yeah, I turned off my mic because I was coughing. Let's see. J Dog says chorizo rice and beans is the go-to meal. It is. I don't have a lot of stereotypes about being Mexican, but I'm a huge bean when it comes to that. Rice, beans, tortillas, and I dump onions and cilantro and the salsa on them. I could just eat that. I don't even need meat. Hi, Cranberry Langers. What's up? And then SD0 says, real fat. Yeah, manteca. I understand you need to be healthier, but when it's like homemade stuff like tortillas or tamales, use the real fat, dude. I see a Russian bot.
Okay, you're a mod. Nuke him.
I am.
Get him.
I feel bad if this.
Wait, let me see it first. What were they saying? Oh yeah, that Cecilia Brush saying boom rent. Yeah, throw him out.
But it was Cranberry Langers. I was like, it's a Russian bot.
Right.
J Dog said sometimes the ladies will recognize me and hook it up. Yeah, they recognize me too, and every once in a while they'll give me like extra tortillas. They're very, very sweet. So
I'm gonna read this
keeps coming in with the $2. He said,
Yeah.
I hung out with King Kong Bundy for an hour.
Wow. I was afraid of King Kong Bundy as a kid. I saw him on WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania ever. And I thought he was, I think, you got to forgive me if I got this wrong. I was like 6 or 7. And I think I thought he was actually going to kill Hulk Hogan when they were going to fight or whatever. And I cried about it. Because I thought Hulk Hogan was going to actually die. I could be getting it wrong. Maybe it was Andre the Giant, but I remember King Kong Bundy. He had the green tongue and the bald head, and he'd bite the turnbuckle. That's where the ropes meet in the corner of the boxing ring or the wrestling ring. He would bite it and like rip it with his teeth. He was totally crazy. I think I have that right. These are 40-year-old memories almost. So wow, he hung out with King Kong Bundy for an hour. Very cool. Minnie, I've got amazing news I have to show you.
What?
Look what I found.
Oh my I thought this was about your fundraiser or something.
Oh no, that's going amazing. But look what I found.
$1,500. What size is it? Oh my goodness. That's real. So
I am like 3 clicks away from owning this thing.
That should be one of like the gifts for like the best backer in your fundraiser or something. Chat, do you guys want a jacket? No, I'm just joking. And I'm putting you on the spot.
What size is this thing?
Yeah. Let's see.
Look at that. It's got rhinestones on it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, and it has Jack Nicholson's 5 head.
Look at that. The stones are intact for the city lights.
The stones. Yeah.
Stones. What size is it? Oh, let's click on this and read the neck here. The Tony Alamo of Nashville, designer for the Stars.
Ooh.
Damn. What are the stats on this thing? How big is this thing? It doesn't say the size. Well,
maybe that's just part of the experience.
You just buy it and wish for the best.
Just buy it. Just fuck it. Just do it.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
Eric the Guapo says, I bet that thing smells like cigarettes and bad decisions. You mean a typical Friday night? No, I'm just joking.
Patrick Furtado says it was George the Animal Steel with the green tongue, not King Kong Bundy. I was 6 or 7. So yeah.
Get your facts straight, Dad.
Get your facts straight. That was Russian.
Don't be talking if you don't know.
When I said it was King Kong Bundy, that was Russian disinformation.
Oh, okay. That was that bot that I blocked.
John says, Brohawk wants that meeting the jacket. I bet Brohawk has that jacket. So, yeah. How do you two feel about Waka Guacamole? I make outstanding guacamole.
It's so good.
And if you stretch your guacamole with mayonnaise, I don't know why I said it that way, or sour cream,
or zucchini.
Don't. Gosh damn it. The only thing that belongs in guacamole is this. These are the rules around here. Avocado, of course, little bit of lemon, diced tiny jalapeno, red onion, little bit of cilantro, salt, pepper, and then red chili flake. And then I swear, if you put diced tomatoes in there, I will agree to wrestle you at the local wrestling place in a legal competition of violence, never illegal violence, and I will German suplex you if you put tomatoes in the guacamole.
In the Batman jacket.
Yes, in the Batman jacket, I will German suplex you legally because you agreed to wrestle me.
Yeah, so, no tomato chunks in the guacamole. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's gross. It's gross.
Yeah. So it smells like cigarettes and bad decisions. So it smells like the 90s.
The 90s. I was
like,
in the 90s.
I got to get my scary hairy men straight or right. Goodness. Yeah. So that's how I feel about guacamole. No tomatoes. Don't be doing that. It's gross.
All right. We will probably end this in the next 5 minutes, but I have a question for the chat. Also,
wait, hold on. Do you see that comment?
1 second. I put potatoes in my guac. I'm half
Irish. That's one of the most offensive things I've ever read.
No, hear them out. Like a potato taco with guacamole. That'd be good.
I'm obviously kidding.
No, you're not. No.